Puzzles, ciphers, and cryptograms have long been a captivating part of human history, often used as a means to protect secrets and communicate in ways that only a select few could decipher. For centuries, these codes have guarded everything from military strategies and royal secrets to treasure maps and personal messages. The allure of solving these cryptic puzzles lies not only in the intellectual challenge, but also in the mystery of what truths they may hold once cracked. From the ancient Greeks, who used simple substitution ciphers, to the complex codes of World War II, cryptography has been one of the oldest and most reliable methods for safeguarding information. And yet, despite our advancements in technology and decoding techniques, many of these puzzles still resist solutions, tantalizing us with their mystery. But while some things, like these historical ciphers, remain impenetrable, not all of your online data can be as secure as these puzzles. In fact, the recent national public data breach compromised over 2.9 billion records used for background checks, exposing critical personal information like full names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, and most alarmingly, social security numbers. That's where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in. Aura is designed to protect your data from breaches, fraud, and theft, offering you peace of mind with its comprehensive identity theft protection and online security tools. And I get this all in one app at one affordable price. Stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breaches and brokers. Go to my sponsor aura.com/firesideunsolved to get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your data has been exposed. So while some ciphers might eventually be solved, you can take proactive steps to ensure your personal information always stays secure with Aura. On June 30th, 1999, an unsettling discovery was made on a quiet rural road in West Alton, Missouri. A woman driving through the area spotted something unusual in a nearby cornfield. Curious, she slowed her vehicle to get a better look. What she saw would haunt her forever: a lifeless body lying among the corn. When authorities arrived, they found the body in an advanced state of decomposition, but were still able to make an identification. The deceased was 41-year-old Ricky McCormick, a St. Louis native with a troubled history. A high school dropout, he drifted between living with his elderly mother and periods of homelessness. Though unmarried, he was confirmed to have fathered at least 4 children. His health was also a constant challenge, with chronic heart and lung issues leaving him unable to work and reliant on disability payments. He had served 11 months of a 3-year prison sentence for a serious offense involving a minor, a fact that added further complexity to his already tumultuous life. A perplexing element of Ricky McCormick's case is the location where his body was found, 15 miles away from his last known address. McCormick did not own a car, and the rural area lacked public transportation, leaving no clear explanation as to how he ended up there. There were no signs of a struggle, no witnesses who saw him in the area, and no evidence that anyone had a motive to harm him. Stranger still, no one had even reported him missing. At the time, authorities found no conclusive cause of death and initially ruled out homicide. The last confirmed sighting of McCormick was on June 25, 1999. 5 days before his body was discovered, when he visited Forest Park Hospital in St. Louis for a routine checkup. The strangest detail of all was found in his pockets. Investigators recovered 2 handwritten notes, scrawled in an unexplained code, a baffling jumble of letters, numbers, and occasional parentheses. The meaning of these notes remains unknown, but the FBI believes they may hold vital clues to the mystery of his death. Dan Olson, former chief of the FBI's Cryptanalysis and Racketeering Records Unit, described their importance. Breaking the code could reveal the victim's whereabouts before his death and could lead to the solution of a homicide. Despite efforts by the FBI's Cryptanalysis and Racketeering Records Unit, the American Cryptogram Association, and countless amateur codebreakers, the meaning behind the notes remains elusive. Even today, they are listed among the top unsolved cases handled by the FBI's Cryptanalysis Unit. In 1939, Alexander D'Agapeyeff, a Russian-born cryptographer and cartographer, published a book titled Codes and Ciphers. The book aimed to introduce readers to the world of cryptography, but it ended on a tantalizing note: a challenge cipher. This cipher, included on the last page of the book as a puzzle for readers, became known as the D'Agapeyeff Cipher, and to this day, it has never been solved. What makes this cipher even more intriguing is its creator's later admission. He couldn't recall how he had encrypted it. D'Agapeyeff also hinted in his book that not every number in the cipher was part of the message. On page 111, he explained how dummy characters could be strategically inserted to confuse anyone attempting to break the code. He wrote, "The cipher is of course easily made out, but if every third, fourth, or fifth letter, as may be previously arranged, is a dummy inserted after a message has been put into cipher, it is then extremely difficult to decipher unless you are in the secret." This admission raises the question, was the challenge even solvable in the first place? Did D'Agapeyeff create a puzzle so complex that even he lost the key to its solution, or was it flawed from the start? For over 80 years, the D'Agapeyeff Cipher has confounded cryptographers, hobbyists, and experts alike, waiting for someone to unravel its code. Henry Debosnys stands as one of history's most mysterious people, with a life full of contradictions and unbelievable claims. According to his own accounts, he was born in Lisbon, Portugal, though this and much of his backstory remain unverifiable. Throughout his life, Debosnys shared a variety of outlandish tales, including participation in the North Pole expedition under Sir Robert McClure from 1848 to 1850, and service in multiple wars, such as the Crimean War, the Italian War of 1859, and the Franco-Prussian War. These assertions, however, were never substantiated, raising questions about his true past. Debosnys also claimed to have been married twice before arriving in New York. However, his first wife was reportedly found drowned in a river in New York City, while his second wife succumbed to starvation in Philadelphia. Both deaths aroused suspicion, yet Debosnys managed to avoid any consequences. Henry was known to possess skills that distinguished him in the small community of Essex, New York. A self-proclaimed painter, he had a notable talent for drawing and was fluent in 6 languages. Despite these attributes, he was largely seen as a vagabond, wandering the area aimlessly and only engaging in manual labor when driven by hunger. His lifestyle was partially sustained by charitable handouts from local organizations. On June 8, 1882, he married Betsy Wells, a widowed mother of 4 who had inherited a modest farm and some money from her late husband. The marriage quickly became fraught with conflict, as Debosnys pressed Betsy to transfer the title of her property to him. Her refusal led to frequent and escalating disputes between the couple. Then, tragedy struck when Betsy Wells was found brutally murdered. Her body bore 2 gunshot wounds to the skull and a deep slash across her neck. Suspicion quickly turned to Henry, especially after local farmers reported seeing him behaving suspiciously in the woods near where Betsy's body was eventually discovered. And he was arrested on August 1st, 1882. During his incarceration, Henry seemed to enjoy writing and creative expression. Much of his time behind bars was spent composing dark poems and crafting cryptograms, often in the languages he claimed fluency in, including French, Greek, Latin, Portuguese, and Spanish. Debosnys' trial began on March 6, 1883, and concluded swiftly, taking just 2 days. After just 8 minutes of deliberation, the jury returned a verdict of guilty of first-degree murder, and on April 27, 1883, Debosnys was executed by hanging. His final words were, "I am innocent of the crime. You have made a mistake. The blood on my knife was the blood of a chipmunk." Among his belongings left behind are ciphers and coded documents, many of which remain undeciphered to this day. These writings, which incorporate cryptographic scripts and pictograms, have fascinated cryptographers and historians alike. Debosnys claimed his cryptographic methods were widely used in Europe, and parallels have been drawn between his ciphers and known Masonic ciphers. Much of his work, including his cryptograms, was entrusted to an unknown female visitor during his imprisonment. Decades later, her granddaughter donated these artifacts to the Adirondack History Museum in Elizabethtown, New York, where they are still preserved alongside Debosnys' skull and the noose used in his execution, which can be seen to this day. The Kryptos sculpture, created by American artist Jim Sanborn, is an intricate work of art and cryptographic mystery. Installed on the grounds of the CIA's George Bush Center for Intelligence in Langley, Virginia, the sculpture reflects themes of intelligence, secrecy, and decoding. The sculpture's name, derived from the Greek word for hidden, underscores its mysterious nature. Jim Sanborn, in collaboration with retired CIA cryptographic expert Edward Scheit, developed the cryptographic systems that make up Kryptos. Scheit described the difficulty level of the encryption as a 9 out of 10, and the intention was for the puzzle to be solved within 5 to 10 years. However, its full solution has eluded even skilled cryptanalysts for decades. Sanborn has described the piece as a riddle within a riddle, meaning the complete resolution of the sculpture's mysteries requires deciphering all 4 encoded sections. Additionally, Sanborn has stated that the encryption methodologies shift intentionally, adding layers of complexity to be able to solve it. During Kryptos' dedication ceremony in 1990, Sanborn claimed to have provided the full solution to the then CIA director William Webster. However, he later contradicted this by saying that Webster did not receive the entire solution. One confirmed passage of plain text in the second encoded section reads, "Who knows the exact location? Only WW." The sculpture includes 4 large copper plates as its primary material, complemented by elements such as water, wood, plants, red and green granite, white quartz, and petrified wood. Its standout feature is a vertically oriented S-shaped copper screen, evocative of an ancient scroll. This screen, prominently located in the northwest corner of the new headquarters building courtyard outside the CIA's cafeteria, carries half of the sculpture's encoded text. The encrypted characters are meticulously cut out of the copper plates and consist of the 26 letters of the Latin alphabet and question marks, forming 4 separate encoded messages. Of these, 3 messages have been deciphered, leaving the 4th passage still unknown to this day. The solution to the first message is, between subtle shading and the absence of light lies the nuance of occlusion. Occlusion was an intentional misspelling of illusion by the creator Jim Sanborn that was intended to throw people off. The second message when solved is, it was totally invisible. How's that possible? They used the Earth's magnetic field. The information was gathered and transmitted underground to an unknown location. Does Langley know about this? They should. It's buried out there somewhere. Who knows the exact location? Only WW. This was his last message. 38 degrees, 57, 6.5 seconds north. 77 degrees, 8 minutes, 44 seconds west. Layer 2. The coordinates mentioned indicates a point that is approximately 174 feet southeast of the sculpture. And finally, message 3. Slowly, desperately, slowly, the remains of passage debris that encumbered the lower part of the doorway was removed. With trembling hands, I made a tiny breach in the upper left-hand corner and then widening a hole a little, I inserted the candle and peered in the hot air escaping from the chamber, caused the flame to flicker, but presently details of the room within emerged from the mist. Can you see anything? This is a paraphrased quotation from Howard Carter's account of the opening of the tomb of King Tut on November 26, 1922. The question, "Can you see anything?" was asked by Lord Carnarvon, to which Carter replied, "Wonderful things." Sanborn has said that if he were to pass away before its decryption, he has ensured that someone else would be able to verify any proposed solution. The final piece of Kryptos' puzzle continues to resist decryption, keeping its ultimate secret intact. The Chinese gold bar cipher is a fascinating and mysterious cryptographic puzzle tied to a collection of gold bars issued in 1933. Allegedly, 7 gold bars were given to a person named General Wang in Shanghai, China. These bars are said to represent some form of metal certificates related to a significant bank deposit with a U.S. bank. Each of the 7 gold bars weighs 1.8 kilograms, roughly 4 pounds, and is adorned with Chinese writing, cryptographic symbols, and some form of script in Latin letters. The Chinese text, when translated, describes a transaction worth over $300 million. It also references the gold bars themselves, which suggests that the ciphers are directly connected to this financial exchange. The gold bars are estimated to be worth around $20,000 each, making the overall value of the bars significant. However, their full monetary and historical value may lie hidden within the encrypted messages. The cryptograms and other inscriptions seem to be a blend of Chinese characters and Western cryptographic scripts, leading to speculation that the puzzle could be a multi-layered cipher, possibly involving both linguistic translation and cryptographic analysis. It is listed on the International Association for Cryptologic Research website, where cryptography enthusiasts and experts can attempt to decipher it. Despite various attempts to crack the code, the cipher remains unsolved.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fireside Unsolved. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Until next time, take it easy and be easy, you filthy bastards.